Yeah, is it? Yes, DC here. Hi, guys and gals. We're walking down the stairs. It's Sunday morning, and I do hope you're all well. Just be careful. It's -5 or -6, so it's under freezing, but we don't have any snow. Yeah, so I got my watch here, so I can look at what I'm doing. Now, 2 cars coming. Smart move. Yeah, crossover. And we're gonna go into the park. Yeah, so what can we chat about today? I saw something actually that made me smile on Facebook, and I thought, like, yeah, why not chat about that a little bit? You know, just chatting for chatting. I was on Facebook. It was something like somebody said, like, Dad, what was it like living in the 80s? And the text was something like, I took their phones and turned off the internet. And it made me kind of realize, like, okay, I guess that in a few years I'll get questions like, Grandpa, what was it like living when there were dinosaurs? Yeah, you can kind of imagine that. I'm just going to show you where we are. So we're in the park. Here we are. So we're in the park that's opposite our house, which is over there. And of course, it's what time is it actually? I guess I got all my watches, but I don't have anything with time on. So it must be a little bit past 8 in the morning. So there's nobody around. So the closest we've got right now is frost. There's no snow. I did get a comment on the other. I put up a picture on my other Facebook page with the kids and with the grandkids and kids, and people were saying, "Where's your snow?" And I was like, "Where is your snow?" And it's in the mountains. Yeah, I've said that many times, and people always get a little bit surprised, especially that you got a lot of snow. I think over in certain parts of North America, at least in parts of Canada where my nieces live. Yeah, so to get back to that Facebook thing, I was thinking, like, yeah, it is funny because, when I was like the age of my grandchildren now, my grandfather had, I don't know, I was going to say he probably mortgaged half of his property. I don't know how they got it, but they did get a black and white television. And it was one of the only televisions at the time in the village. Now, why I say I'm surprised is because they were not rich. They were, if anything, I was going to say, as close to dirt poor as anybody had been in the family. So I don't know how they got that television. But anyway, they did get that television. And they lived like over on a hill, over the village. And in those days, of course, there was television antennas. Some people might still know what those are. And they could get a few stations. But the main thing is that there was, I don't know if it was on Saturday morning. Probably it was Saturday morning, because it certainly wasn't on Sunday, because everybody would have been at church in those days. So I could imagine it was on Saturday. There was wrestling. And half of the village, or I'm exaggerating, of course, but many people would come over to my grandfather's, it seems, to watch the wrestling. So that's kind of interesting in a way. And it is amusing when I look at that, how far we could get the stations with the antennas. I guess there was just less interference from other type of waves or whatever. But I mean, we could get to stations like all the way, into Maine, and we were living close to the Vermont. Well, basically, we could say we're living in Vermont because we were like, you cross the border. It was like less than a mile or something like that. So you were in Vermont, and further into New York. And one of the stations was actually in New Hampshire. So, I mean, think about it. That's a long ways away. And the receptions were good. And yeah, sure, we would have to go and physically move the antenna, but it was no big deal. I'll just show you the two birds over there. There they are. I'll zoom that in. Yeah, here we are. Somebody comes still and gives them grain or something to eat. You can see there's no birds, but if you look over there, no, you can't really see on the camera. I was going to say there was more grain on the ground. Yeah. But you can hear them in the trees. Yeah, so let's see. Up there, we got a lot of crows. Crows are actually a big problem here. Yeah, but I'm digressing, aren't I? Yeah. Like I said, I'm digressing. Because the idea was I lost my camera. Anyway, yeah, so I was thinking, like when we were kids, it was almost like hard to believe what it was like without television. And we had black and white television, and no, there were no. I was going to say there were no remotes. I'm thinking, like of the first. I had a little black and white television when I was a student, and my brother would use the screen sometimes. He had bought a Commodore, like a little computer type thing. Those of you of my age know what I mean. And there were some actual games on that. But we were talking like here about the early 80s, I guess. Yeah, it would be the early 80s or late 70s. 1970s, yes. But thinking about all that just makes me realize, like how much has changed already just in my lifetime. I mean, going from the black and white televisions to watching TV, streaming TV on my iPad or stuff like that, and filming myself as I'm walking along with a telephone. It just, when we were kids, this was stuff for comic books. And even within the comic books, we thought like, okay, this is science fiction. It's impressive, isn't it, that in our generation, so I'm talking about people like my age, which were born in the 50s, but people that were born in the 40s would be the same, and so on. We're living out what was science fiction when we were kids. Can you imagine what our children or grandchildren are going to live? I wonder, will they go back into prehistoric times, because maybe we're going to have World War III? I don't know. It really makes one wonder. I'll just show you the lake again, but while I'm talking, it's not a lake, it's a little pond. Exaggerating. Yeah, just look at those birds. But it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? I mean, where are we going? Oh, you know something? I think they saw I was coming. Yeah, you can see some. But it really makes me wonder. Anyway, tell me what you think about it, because I'm not going to say I'm anxious. No, I'm not. I mean, things will take care of themselves. But we're living the science fiction of our youth. What's it going to be later on? I guess it'll progress. There's a little island over there. It's kind of cute. Okay. Oh, there's DC over there. So I guess a DC shadow can say, signing off, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.